Hello, good morning. Good morning, Ireland. Good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening. Well, sorry, just fix a few things here. So I hope that the audio is good and the camera as well. I just want to check if all good. Okay, apparently yes, perfect. If there is any problem with the audio, please let me know. Uh, We are live from Ireland, Dublin Ireland, on YouTube and Facebook channel of Spirit Society of Ireland. My name is Neide Mota, and I will be with you for the next few minutes, talk about Spiritism. So welcome to our Sunday talk, and hope that your day is great. The weather here today is not so good, it's a little bit uh, dark, rain, sunny, rain, sunny, rain. But it's good. At least it's not cold. So hope that the summer won't be long to arrive in Ireland to bless us. Right? So guys, first thing first, let's do our initial prayer as usually that we can start the talk of today. So I invite you all to raise your thoughts to the Master Jesus. If you can, if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If not, keep them open. Not a problem. Just elevate your thoughts to the Master Jesus, to the good spirits, and let's ask them for the guidance, for the enlightenment for this moment, that they can inspire us for this talk today and bring us knowledge and good inspirations, and that we can enjoy this moment together. So be it. Thanks, God. All right. Topic of the day, as you can see here. Uh, I think about what we can talk this Sunday, and I had this inspiration moment when I decided to bring something that for some people is quite is not an easy subject to talk about. Some people has a fear to talk about this, that is death. And I once was afraid to talk about death as well. I was thinking about this as a big monster or something, that I don't want to even think about it in a general way. And then I was like, why not talk about it? Because through spiritism, we have learned that the life and death is something that is walk together and is part of our life. Once that we are here on this planet, that we are incarnating Earth, life is part of ours. Death is part of our life. We know that we're gonna get to the end. We're gonna get to arrive upon and you're gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. It's strange talk like that, like say that, but yes, everyone's gonna die. But the problem is we don't know what is death. What is death? You know, and that's why we are afraid to talk about, and we are afraid of death because we don't know what is it, right? And this is something that Spiritism brought to us that make at least I think for the Spiritist guys or these who follow the Spiritist doctrine understand a little bit better and they study about death because the Spiritist books they talk about death all the time. So something common or something normal or something natural. And once that we start to study and learn about Spiritism, you kind of lose your fear of death because we're learning that's something natural, that's something common. And that's why I decided to talk about this today. And um, I hope that will help a little bit for those who want to understand better or don't know much, or even for those who knows, we can exchange some thoughts here. And the first question that I found, not the first one, but one that is interesting that I found on the Spiritist book, is the question 68 on the chapter one. Sorry, chapter one or two? Chapter one, yes, chapter one, part one, chapter 4. Sorry, because the Spiritist book is divided in parts, so it's part one, and the question 68 is about the life and death. And they ask, what cause of death of, or what causes the death of organic beings? Sorry, even if I glass, I think I need to change. And then the answer is the organs were out. And then there is a complementary question. Could we compare death to the cessation of movement in the machine that has broken down? And then they say yes. If the machine has been badly assembled, its breakdown. Likewise, if the body becomes diseased, life leaves it. So it's funny because and then they have question 69, 67 that is going through more and in details about what they're talking about. But I will resume this in few words. Uh, they compare our body as a machine, right? That is, and we have talked about and said this before, that our body is like a machine, that we have this machine, we take care of them, that this continue, the function is working good, all the pieces, the organs is like little pieces that is becoming together, and make this machine works, right? So we take care of that, but as everything is get to the point that we will be uh, old and broke, because it's gonna work, and once that is not wasted, but let's get to this state, because it's already out of date, and then it's get to the point that we have to retire this body, retire this machine. Okay, so it's not good tools anymore. Let's put aside and let's move on. And exactly what happened with our body. We get to the point when our body stops to work, and we have to leave it. Right? We have to change this machine for a new one, and that's the beauty about the spiritism, because with reincarnation we have this possibility to change our body, to change this machine, conform our needs. For example, when the life season is one, we back and we go for a new one. I'm very try to make this very simple on the picture here. You know, of course, it's more complicated than that. And when we study spiritism, and then you get to know every detail, you see that things is a little bit more complicated, but it's basically like that. And yes, and what is make our body continuous is, as we know, is our vital fluid. You know, the spirit that is habitate in our body that make this machine works, right? And then on the next chapter, the chapter 3, return to the spiritual world from the physical life. The soul after death, individuality and eternal life. The question 149, what's happened to the soul at the time of death? It becomes a spirit again, meaning it's returned to the spiritual world that is had brief left. And then the question 150, does the soul maintain its individuality after death? And the answer, yes, it never loses it. What would it be if it did not preserve it? So here we can see that, as we said, I was telling before, once that this machine is broke, that we have to leave it, we return to the spiritual world. When we continue our life, and then the one thing that is they leave very clear here is that just because we disincarnate, we don't lose the conscious of ourselves. For example, I'm lady when I pass away, when I'm get to the other side, I'm continuous be lady. I continuous be myself. I'm not gonna lose my individuality. I'm not go to become something else or another person. I will be myself. Right? I will keep the conscious of myself. So this is something that is for me is very consolated because first this brings to us the 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 sure the certain of the continuous life, right? That means that the things not end, not finish with the death. Death is just a trip to the other side. And there is one sentence that I don't like to use when I try to change and not use this because we used to say when someone from our family or that we know says the person I lost someone, I lost my parents, I lost someone in my family. And why we use the word lost? Because we don't lost. The person is not lost. The person just passed away. And then the sentence of someone passed away, I think is more applicable than you say that you lose someone. I think, oh, my parents passed away, or I know someone who passed away, or disincarnated, or as a spiritist, we use the word disincarnated. This person disincarnate, someone disincarnated, that instead of use the word lost. I think it's more well applicable than to use a word that doesn't make sense. And they act like that because the life is continued. We have this certain as a spiritist, we have this understand that the life is not finished on the death time. It's just a passage, it's just a trip that we do to the other side when life continues. Um, and this is something that we have to talk about as something natural. When we talk about a death, when we talk about the fact like someone said that, but I don't like to imagine that I will die. I don't want to talk about this because I don't want to even think about it. And I think we should talk about it. We should talk about death. We should talk about something that is natural. And don't be afraid because I think more we talk, more we understand how it's work, less afraid we are. I'm not here saying that we have to say to encourage you think about that I want to die. No, it's different. I'm talking about the natural death, the natural pass away from someone in our family, for someone that we know, or for ourselves when the time comes naturally with according with the plan. You know, it's completely different. Don't let mistake the things. Okay, it's just because some people, and I want to say I myself was very afraid to look to the death, to know to imagine that I could lose someone in my family, and how I gonna deal with that. How I gonna deal with the law. See, I say again the loss, but no, when I were to deal again with the pass away from someone that I really care about, someone very close, like my parents, my family, you know, and we have to look at this as something natural and not do a big deal about it, right? Because first I have I'm sure that the life continues on the side, and they are good, they are fine, they are well someone is taking care of them on the other side, and they are taking care of themselves because the lives continue. They still learning, they still growing and evolve, as the spiritism always says to us. You know, they continue to be themselves, as they said here. Just because they died doesn't mean that they forgot who they are or forgot who they left behind. You know, is just a marriage of temporary, momentary separation, you know, and it's something that we have to look at this with very natural, because it's natural. It's not something that is supernatural. Something. It's something natural. Death, death is something that is part of life. It's like we sometimes use to joke and say, the only certain in life is that I'm going to be dead one day. And this is, yes. On the question 153, they say, how should we interpret eternal life? The life of the spirits, I'm going to get my book because I think I can read better. 53. In what sense should we understand the eternal life? Right. Then they say, the life of the spirits, it's eternal, while that of the body is ephemeral. When the body dies, they should re-enter eternal life. So, and then the complementary question say, what is be more accurate to use the terms eternal life for that of purified spirit, as they have reached relative perfection and no longer endure any trial and tribulations. That would be eternal happiness. But this is a question of words. You may call we may call things whatever you want, provided you reach a collective agreement among yourselves regarding the meaning. So, in the first one here, when we talk about eternal life, like I said, so we have the sure of the eternal life, so the life continue, and as they say here, who dies is the body, not the soul. The soul, they re-enter on the eternal life. So the soul return to the spiritual world, as we say, for the real home, the back home, the place that we were before, that we came here for this short period of time, because 100 years on the eternity is like nothing. We spend this time here, and then we return to the eternal life or to the spiritual world, as they say here. And and then he asked for the spirit on the second question about that we should not apply just the term of eternal life for the spirits who are already evolved for the highest spirits, let's say. And then they say here that is a matter of word that we use, because we are mistake eternal life with eternal happiness. Is things different. Eternal life, it does mean that the life is continuous. But happiness is another thing. Eternal happiness is something that I think we cannot even can explain because we don't have a word in our vocabulary to explain the eternal happiness. So is another thing that belong to the high spirits that maybe high spirits have a better explanation, but for us common human beings, we don't have words to describe this. So that's no mistake. Eternal happiness and eternal life. Eternal life is the certainty that the life is eternal and not cease with the death. That the life continues after our body dies, as they say here. So, and through the Spirit's book, in many parts, and I think most of our chapters, there is some parts that they talk about death. Because as I said, it's something natural, it's something common, and they talk about in a very natural way, try to explain to us to not be afraid of death, because death is something normal, it's something that is part of our life, that we have to take this natural and learn with that. And then, for example, on the question 858, that they say, how is it that those who have premonitions of their death uh, generally dread? There is something online that I cannot read. So it's those who have the premonition of their death, when they're gonna die, is still like afraid of that. It's the human being and not the spirit who fear death. Individuals who have a premonition of the death, which is as a spirit rather than a human being. They understand that it will be, I think I put in the wrong way. So I have to find the rest of this answer. Hmm. Is the individual who dreads death, not the spirits. Those who foresee it thinks more as a spirit rather than the physical entering. They understand that the deliverance is they wait for it. Uh, Basically, what they say to us, like, why we fear death. Even we know, even I know some spiritist people, some person that is a spiritist, and they still afraid of death. Is like, not because I, I understand that I is eternal, that I'm not to be afraid. And we, of course, as I said, because we are humans, and is the human body, like it's us, that feel the death, but not our spirits, because on the back on the our conscious, the spirits they know and they understand that the life is continuing and is just a temporary passage. So that's why we still fear death, because we are human, we are here, and we relate death with pain as well. And that's why I think this is making us fear so much uh, when we talk about, because we relate like death and fear. Oh, sorry, death and pain. When we think about death, we think about pain. It's something painful, not just a physical pain, but emotional pain as well. So it's related to the pain. That's why we fear death, because as a human, we fear pain. Doesn't matter if it's physical or the emotional. You know. In the question 981, they say, is there any difference in future conditional between souls who were afraid of death during life and the souls who were indifferent to it and even looked forward to it when in with relief? And then they answer, there may be a very considerable difference between them. True, this is often eliminated by the cause which gave rise to that fear or desire. Different feelings move people who dread death and those who look forward to it. Those feelings determine the states of the spirits. For instance, when individuals desire death because it means the end of tribulation, the desire is an act of defiance against God and the trials they must undergo. So that question is very interesting, because they say here, the individual who don't fear death and they kind of treat this in a natural and more acceptable can be some individuals that are already more um, elevated or more evolved, because they kind of understand or already know that it's just a momentary passage and they are going to the eternal life or to spiritual world. So they are calm and they deal with that much better than for those who are not believing this, those who fear death. And in another way, we have to be careful, because here they say that those who are seeking for it in a way of um, relief of the trials or the suffering or like escape, that is dangerous, because then this can lead someone even to suicide, and is another thing that is what we don't want, and I don't want to talk about this because this is another subject. I want to talk about here the death in a normal and a natural way, right? And let's leave this very clear here, because this is exactly what they say. So those who, for let's say, for example, someone that has 100 years old and they not afraid of death, and they you know look at this as a natural way, as something natural, something that they know that comes, and they are okay, they are peaceful, and they don't are afraid. This means that this human being is already more. prepare, more elevated, they already have this advantage, instead of those who is still fear and afraid and you know don't want to even think about it. This is a way that I see these questions and this answer. And for those who search for death or look to death as a escape and a relief for the trials that they have, that is another thing, and is very dangerous. And we know, as they said, instead of you fight something that will relieve you, you can fight something that will be very much more painful and much more problematic than a solution. So let's be very careful when we talk about death in this way. But my point here today is bringing to you exactly this, like, especially this moment. I think we all know someone that already passed away, or we already know someone that disincarnate because of COVID, or because of something related in these crazy moments of pandemic that we are living now. We all know someone that going through some hard moment and disincarnated. Someone close to us, someone from our families, or someone that friend of our friends, you know, and uh, and we look to this in a very painful way, because sometimes we not agree, or sometimes we think that is not fair, because the person was young, the person was healthy, or because we are not prepared to lose this person, in a certain way, to be without this person. And this is complicated, and this will be very painful. Of course, it's painful when we we take apart from someone. This person take is going to the spiritual world without us and leave us here. Is very painful. No, just emotional, but even the physical ways. But we have to feel this and let it go, because we have to understand that it is a natural consequence of life. And if the person already disincarnated, because somehow it came to the time, and we have to respect that, be against that and try to fight with God and say that is unfair, and create this angry relationship with the death. Instead of this, we try to understand. We try to look for the answer sides of spiritism, or studies, and the studies of life. Doesn't matter if it's spiritism or the doctrine that has the same objective, to bring knowledge and guidance for the humankind in Earth. So the most important that we understand that this death is not the end of everything, and life continues after death. After that, and try to see this and deal with this as more natural way as possible, because, as we always say, the only thing that is certain, that we're gonna get there as well. So why not prepare ourselves in a good way, like with knowledge, with understanding, and don't take this with a big deal and do a big problem that it is not, right? It's painful, but it's not the end of the world, you know. So I think is the very comfortable to know that this who already passed away before us, they are in a good place. They're still alive, and they continue the path and the life. Doesn't matter where. Can be already incarnated in another body, or can be already the spiritual world. Then we study and learn as well. And for those who have interested to know more of life after death, I recommend the books of André Luiz. that was wrote by Chico Xavier, Francisco Cândido Xavier. There is a collection that is about the spiritual life. That start with the first one, that is Nosso Lar, is in English is spiritual life, I think. I will check exactly, but if you put Chico Xavier, André Luiz, you have a very series of a very good collection series of book that explain since from the beginning when the guy is incarnate and he go to the spiritual world and he go through all the difficulties at the moment, and then he start to learn and he bring out is a beautiful is a the format is like a novel, that it is that you is like you follow the steps of the guy since from his disincarnations till he gets as a evolved spirits in certain way. And it's nice because it's bring a lot of knowledge to us, and we can look to the spiritual life in a different ways, and start to understand how things works, and how life is on the other side. And it's very nice. I this helped myself in particular very much. So I highly recommend for those who has interest in to study and to understand better to go to these books. And we have them in English as well. Even on Amazon, you can find. So, guys, I think I don't have much more to talk today. I don't want to go deeper on the subject. I want to actually be this very easy and kind of superficial talk, just to give you a little bit of more curiosity about this. Then we can talk about this and deeply on this in another time, or even if you have interest, you can find very good speeches about that on the internet as well. On the we have very good speeches and in English as well. So it's just a matter of look for it and you're gonna find it. And that's our activities. We have Sunday speech every 11:15 every Sunday. We have talk shows Tuesday and Thursday at 19:15 at evenings. Healing passes, healing or passes for those in Portuguese. Every Tuesday at sharp 7:30 on just on the YouTube channel, right? And we have as well our studies groups at 8 on the Zoom room every Wednesday. And to participate in the studies group, you have to send us an email, and we're gonna send you the link. Our email you can find in our Facebook page. And I think that's all the information that I have to you today. Just a quick reminder, this is Dublin time, this is Irish time. So if you are outside Ireland, you have to check the the time in your local, but this is Irish time. Okay. So and to finish, I will invite you again to go to our final prayer. So if we can, you can close your eyes or keep them open. Let's once more elevate our thoughts to the high spirits, to God and the Master Jesus. And thanks for this moment. Thanks for these words, for the thoughts of today, the inspiration. I hope that this will help you somehow or bring you some insights to make the life better. And that we all have a blessed and good week and can meet very soon again. So, so guys, thank you very much for your company, for your attention, and we see you again soon. Have a great week and be careful and take care of yourself. God bless. Bye.